come home this evening from seeing my brother. We've actually gone and got a play. We've actually done some business in June. We normally do business in July. Unbelievable, Calicky. It's absolutely unbelievable, Calicky. Unbelievable momentum for Manchester United. Hey guys, good evening. Welcome back to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Hope everyone so far is having a fantastic Thursday evening. Hope everyone is enjoying this week. Hope you're all looking forward to the end of this week, and I hope you're all looking forward to another brand new weekend in July 2023 this year, the first weekend in July. First of all, be a massive favour for me. Hit the like button, hit the share button, the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. That is United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel and the community if you are new. Then to share the video, hit the tweet button, hit that retweet button. Remember to always remember to put that notification bell on, all time to receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of 2023 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. So please subscribe to the channel and the community if you are new. Good evening to all you legends. Good evening to all you legendary people. We have major breaking transfer news coming in and out of Old Trafford and Manchester United this evening with the official here we go for Mason Mount. Mason Mount is officially here we go. Manchester United have agreed a 60 million deal to sign Mason Mount from Chelsea on a 5-year contract. Medical is booked. Personal terms are agreed. We have officially got the here we go from Fabrizio Romano on Twitter, David Ornstein. We have officially signed a player in June. I mean, bloody hell. This transfer window so far for Manchester United has been a complete and utter travesty. It's been a nightmare. It's been a disaster. It has been a complete and utter nightmare for Erik ten Hag. The transfer window has been a complete joke so far for this football club. And finally, we have got a deal over the line for Mason Mount. What does this mean for Mason Mount and Manchester United under Erik ten Hag? Well, he was clearly the number one priority target for the midfield. He was clearly the number one option as the replacement for Christian Eriksen, an upgrade on Christian Eriksen in that midfield with Fernandes and Casemiro for next season. Mason Mount is officially going to become a Manchester United player over the weekend. Personal terms agreed. 60 million deal agreed between Manchester United and Chelsea. A compromise has been reached with 55 million plus 5 million on add-ons. 60 million is a hefty amount of money being chucked on Mason Mount, especially with 1 year left on his contract. It is a lot of money. And I think, time will tell if this signing is going to work out for Manchester United. I'm hoping and I'm praying Erik ten Hag knows what he's doing. I'm hoping Mason Mount can absolutely be transformed in this Man United team next season under our manager in Erik ten Hag. This signing has to work. This signing is a lot. Like I said, with 1 year left on his contract, Mason Mount has to go straight into this team, especially with the amount of fee we have paid to get him from Chelsea. We have wasted 5 weeks of trying to get Mason Mount from Chelsea. We've been in talks with Chelsea since the end of May. We have wasted nearly 5 weeks trying to sign a midfielder from Chelsea who don't want to be at the club, who wants to leave and wants to be a Man United player. And Man United really, after the FA Cup final against Man City, Manchester United really should have had players already here to be signed. Players should have been sold. And we've wasted 5 weeks trying to sign Mason Mount. A positive outcome from a manager that has been left severely frustrated. You can see the frustration. You can see the disappointment on Erik ten Hag's face. You can see behind the scenes all is not well. Erik ten Hag, have I been told by a very credible source on Twitter, has threatened to resign, has threatened to leave Manchester United if he's not back this summer and he doesn't get the players he wants and the players he needs to improve Man United next season. Mason Mount is officially going to become the new first player of the summer for Manchester United. And I hope for Manchester United, Erik ten Hag, the fans and the supporters, this move works out for Mason Mount. Because if this move fails and we try to get rid of Mason Mount in 3 or 4 years' time, it's going to look like a hefty price tag play for a player that hardly kicked a ball for Chelsea last season under Lampard and Graham Potter, two managers that were basically big flops at Chelsea. Mason Mount was nowhere near the first team, especially with the amount of injuries Mason Mount also suffered at Chelsea last season. He had nearly 3 or 4 injuries last season in the league, the Champions League, FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Mason Mount hardly featured in a Chelsea shirt. And I think if the injuries reoccur, we have chucked 60 million on a player that really I didn't want to go for. Mason Mount doesn't really get me excited. Can't even get an England team due to his form and due to his injury consistency with Chelsea. And I think Man United spending 60 million with 1 year left on his contract at Chelsea is a big, big risk. 60 million is a lot on the player with 1 year left on this contract. That is a big, big chunk of hefty money that has had to be spent on a midfielder that I don't really rate. He doesn't get me excited. I know Arsenal were in for him, Liverpool were in for him, but Mason Mount had his heart set out on the move to Man United. He didn't want to renew his contract at Chelsea. He rejected a contract proposal for a new contract at the football club, and Mason Mount was determined to get his move. I do believe Mason Mount behind the scenes has put a transfer request in. I do believe he's told Chelsea, you either lose me for free next summer or you sell me now, get money, and you go and buy a replacement for me. Mason Mount, years and years ago, had his heart set on being a Chelsea legend, especially after winning that Champions League final when they beat Man City 1-0 in that final through a Kai Havertz goal. Mason Mount had his heart set on a Chelsea stay. Chelsea fan through and through, Chelsea player through and through. Obviously, the last few seasons under Graham Potter, Thomas Tuchel, and especially the Wally in Frank Lampard, Mason Mount has been neglected. His injuries have not helped him. And I think the inconsistency and his future has been up in the air throughout the most of last season. Mason Mount had his heart set on the move. He wanted to get out of Chelsea. And Manchester United have finally got their man. But to waste 5 weeks on it, I do feel sorry for the manager. I feel sorry for the supporters. I feel sorry for the fans. Spending 60 million with only 120 million budget, that is 60 million gone already. That is 60 million gone already out of Man United's budget for the summer. So we've only officially now got 60 million left out of that budget for for the transfer window. And most of that 60 million budget left is now got to go on a new goalkeeper due to the amount of money we've had to pay for Mason Mount. I do believe Man United should have paid up for Mason Mount if they really wanted the player. You really should have just coughed up and got the manager his number one priority target for that midfield. Man United should have caved in. They should have given in to Chelsea's demands, and they should have given the manager the player that he wanted. Mason Mount has to hit the ground running at United. I do believe he's not going to get in that United team straight away. I know 60 million is a big, hefty amount of money. 60 million with 1 year left on the contract, I wouldn't have gone anywhere near that. Mason Mount really shouldn't even be a Man United player. I wouldn't have gone anywhere near him. The only thing he's good at is mounting in a lamppost when he sat on that bench most of the season for Chelsea and he can't even get in the first team. That is a sign of concern for me. When Mason Mount can't even get in that Chelsea team, that for me has alarm bells ringing all over it. If he can't get in that first team and he's hardly playing or kicking a ball for Chelsea, not just through injuries, but due to poor attitude and pure commitment, that is a worry for Man United heading forward. And I'm not going to tell Man United what to do. But to waste 60 million with only 60 million left on the budget, and especially when we've got to use the sell to buy crap excuse again, that 60 million budget is probably going to get you a goalkeeper in Onana, and that's probably going to be it. For me, that isn't good enough. To waste 60 million on Mason Mount, where if I was a Man United board or director, I would have gone to Chelsea, it's 40 million or nothing. I would not have paid 20 million more for Mason Mount with 1 year left on the contract. I would have gone absolutely nowhere near that, especially where there are players available out there Man United could have actually gone for, and Man United have said no, no, no to every other target they could have gone for. For me, you could have spent that 60 million on 2 midfielders who are currently available for transfer at Bayern Munich and even Leicester City when they had James Maddison, who's gone to Tottenham for 40 million. Why Man United weren't looking at that, I don't know. I think James Maddison would have been a great bloody addition in that midfield next to Fernandes and Casemiro. Daraj Games 247 in the chat has said, off topic here, in the Championship, teams can now make 9 subs. I mean, that is something to behold. If that is going to happen in the Championship, 9 players being available for the bench options for next season. And UK Paul in the chat has also said, hello, mate. Come on, Mason Mount, get in here. Here we go. First signing. Come on, United. Mason Mount will be class for us. I think Mason Mount has got to hit the ground running. I do believe that, you know, I didn't want Mason Mount. I am not a big fan of this signing. I'm not a big fan of buying him in the first place, but I've got to back the manager. I've got to back his ideas. I've got to back his plans. But if this signing doesn't work out and we have to sell him in 3 or 4 years' time, I am deeply, deeply concerned how the hell we're going to be able to make any of that money back if we try and sell him. Because Man United have chucked 60 million. 1 year left on the contract. James Maddison was available for 40. Man United could have gone to Leicester and got Maddison, and then could have gone to Bayern Munich and then got Sabitzer on a permanent. I don't know why we didn't do that in the first place. Surely there was other options available for this manager except Mason Mount. Is this a manager signing, or is this a board signing an English player with English tax written all over it? I do believe that this is not a manager signing. Deep down, I do believe that this is a board signing, a director signing, and a Glazer signing. This is clearly Man United being dethroned of greatness by the board and by those Muppets and the Glazers that run this football club badly on a day-to-day basis. I can't get hyped about Mason Mount. I can't get excited. I'm not going to sing and dance about that. We've got a player in. Mason Mount is a player who is massively inconsistent, has massive injury problems every 3 or 4 weeks in the first team. And for me, he is a bench option at best. I would put Christian Eriksen nowhere near. I would not replace Christian Eriksen with Mason Mount. And people will say to me, well, he is a massive upgrade on Christian Eriksen. Mason Mount is going to be great. He's going to light up that midfield. Ten Hag will get the best out of Mason Mount's form and his ability, what Chelsea severely regretted. I don't think this signing is going to work out. I will back the manager. I will get behind this signing. I will get behind the player. And we have to welcome to Man United. We have to welcome to Old Trafford. And I think the fans and supporters will be ecstatic that Man United have finally done a transfer in June. No one expected Man United to do that. I don't believe Man United expected to get the Mason Mount deal done today. I don't believe Man United had any plans at all to go and get Mason Mount at all this season. I do believe they looked at other options and Mason Mount was the only available option Man United could have get. I do disagree. I think Mason Mount, as a player, you have to respect what he's won in his career. You have to respect how many appearances he's made for England. And you have to respect the amount of appearances, the amount of goals he's put in a Chelsea shirt. But under Frank Lampard, Mason Mount was neglected. Mason Mount didn't get any game time. Mason Mount was always injured. And Mason Mount didn't want to sign a new contract. And I do believe why. That is why Chelsea don't want him. I do believe Mason Mount was probably told, we're not giving you a new contract. We're going to let you go in the summer. If we can get your move, fine. If not, you stay here and Pochettino will get you in the first team. I do believe the signings of Mudryk and Enzo Fernandez at Chelsea have a massive, massive impact on Mason Mount's last few days of his Chelsea career when they were brought in. They were brought in because they were better than Mason Mount. They are technically gifted players to replace the inconsistency of Mason Mount. If Mason Mount gets into the United team, he has to hit the ground running. We need to see 10 out of 10 performances. We need good ball control. We need decent assists. We need good control in that midfield. And he needs to that midfield has got to light up now. That has got to light up that midfield. That Mason Mount has got to come in United and he's got to get in that team. He has to be in the first player on the team sheet. He has to be kicking the ball for United ahead of Eriksen. For me, I think Eriksen is a naturally born gifted footballer. I think Christian Eriksen is a massive, massive better player than what Mason Mount has won in his career. Eriksen, for me, is a better technically gifted footballer who can make assists and passes that no one else can make. Mason Mount plays it safe. He can't track back and defend. He can't win the ball back. He can't put a decent tackle in. And I may be sounding really, really negative here, but Mason Mount as a Man United player, I've got to back it. I've got to get behind what the manager's ideas are to put Mason Mount in that midfield three with Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. Eriksen now will probably become the most safe bench option off the bench. I think Eriksen now's career is going to be off the bench because of his age, because of his ability and long-term longevity. For me, I would not have waited 60 minutes. I think this is very, very bad business for Manchester United. I think Chelsea, in my opinion, have got the better deal. They've got the better money. And basically, the money they have made from Manchester United have been gullible. They have fell for it and basically gone to Chelsea. Will give you 60 million for Mason Mount, 55 million plus 5 million in add-ons, 60 million deal. Chelsea have got the money. Man United have got the player. Mason Mount will become a player officially maybe on Monday or Tuesday afternoon. We'll go live once that official confirmation of Mason Mount signing for Man United will get his views and his comments on his move to Old Trafford. And hopefully his career can get rebuilt now. I mean, can Ten Hag work miracles on a player that is massively injured and can't get in the Chelsea first team? That is a big, big question for me to be asked. Will Mason Mount work in a Man United team? Will Mason Mount work at Manchester United? And will this signing get everyone off their feet? I do believe some fans, some supporters are not going to be behind this. I do believe there's going to be a lot of anger. There's going to be a lot of frustration. There's going to be a lot of negative views and opinions about Mason Mount being a Manchester United player. But if that's what the manager wants, you have to give the manager what he needs. And if you don't back the manager, we are going to be in exactly the same shit we were under Solskjaer. It happened under Ralf Rangnick. And is history repeating itself? Maybe it is. I mean, is that signs of the manager actually being backed? Is that the Glazers' money putting into that Mason Mount signing? Or is that the Qataris basically putting money into the club so Man United can actually spend this summer? I do believe this money has come directly from the Glazers. They obviously wanted to get Mason Mount done. Obviously, it has to work from Man United's point of view now. This signing has got to work out for the football club. If it doesn't, I think time will tell that Mason Mount's career at Man United might go downhill very, very quickly. And I hope, he's going to get adapted to the pace and the style of what Erik Ten Hag is looking for. And hopefully, as soon as you see him in a Man United shirt, the positivity might start floating back in. Hopefully, he can add something different to what Eriksen adds. And then hopefully the combination of Fernandes, Casemiro and Mason Mount now might be the future going forward. But I think, like I said, Chelsea have got the better deal. The money they have made from Mason Mount today, I think we all know what they're going to go and do. They are going to put that 60 million towards Moses Caicedo. For me, I would have rather have had Caicedo from Brighton than Mason Mount. Caicedo was exactly what we needed in that Man United midfield, especially when we've got no backup CDM. We've got nothing to back up Casemiro through injury and suspension. And Man United have got themselves a number 8. And I think, the CDM position has been massively neglected, massively looked over again when Casemiro, without him in that team, when he picks up injuries or he's sent off and picks up suspensions, we've got no one to do that CDM role. You can't put McTominay there. You can't put Fred there. And I think for me, signing Mason Mount is a massive, massive risk because Mason Mount will not be able to play that CDM role for Man United when Casemiro is unavailable, like I said, due to suspension and injury. And I hope Man United have got a plan there because you can't just sign Mason Mount from the midfield and that's it. You have to go and get yourself another midfielder. You can't keep being protected on Twitter by certain blue tick people on Twitter in Ben Jacobs, Samuel Lutkers, Laurie Whitwell, Simon Stone, and James Ducker. You can't keep letting them 5 blue tick people on Twitter protect Man United's failure. They are protecting Man United's incompetence. They're protecting the Glazers' failures. They're protecting the board's absolute mathematical delusion of maths. They are protecting Man United because they know Man United are being run badly. They know exactly what Man United are doing. They know what the Glazers are doing. They know how bad the board is being run. And they know the mess Man United are in. They know Man United are going to use financial fair play at every point this season to get away with another bad transfer window. They are going to get away with it. And not enough is being said. Not enough is being done to force these owners out of this football club. And I do worry long term where this future of this club's going to head if the Glazers stay. If the Glazers don't go, I think Man United's situation is only going to get worse. And I do believe we are going to head massively backwards if the Glazers aren't gone. I do believe that the manager's not even being backed anyway. This Mason Mount deal for me That is not backing. That is basically Man United showing pure signs of desperation to get the manager what he wants. Ten Hag wanted Mason Mount. This deal should have been done after the FA Cup final defeat to Man City. Man United should have had players lined up to be signed soon as their season finished. And that, for me, this is where this has all gone wrong through this transfer window. Man United have waited and waited and waited to do the Mason Mount deal at a right time, at the right place. For me, that isn't acceptable. You have to deliver what the manager's looking for soon as the season has finished. Man United should have had players on board soon as their season was completed. This is why Man United are failing on and off the pitch. You don't see Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs using financial fair play as an excuse to get away with another shit transfer window. This transfer window has been open for 3 weeks next week. Man United have signed one player in basically 3 weeks. That is not acceptable for a manager who has got us back in the Champions League, has won us the Carabao Cup, got us top four, and basically what's happening here is they are doing what they did to Mourinho, they are doing what they did to Solskjaer, and they're doing exactly what they did to Ralph Rangnick. They are throwing another manager with huge potential under the bus again and expecting the manager in Erik ten Hag to go with exactly the same squad we finished with last season. You're meant to improve on the current crop of crap you've got and improve it to take it up to another level. That has not happened since that FA Cup final defeat. There has been no plan. There's been no core solution. There has been nothing for Man United to get this fan base and supporters off their feet and to be excited about. There's been no plan altogether. And Man United need to take huge responsibility for their failure so far to deliver the 500 to 600 million, I think, in my opinion, should have been spent on this squad in the first place. People tell me there is no way Manchester United are going to do that. There is no way Man United have got that type of money to do that yesterday. And I'm telling you now, from a very well-sourced person on Twitter who's a blue tick, I think it was from Bloomberg on Twitter, Man United have actually got 260 million to spend. But because of financial fair play ball crap, Man United can't spend anywhere near that amount. In my opinion, yes, they can. Man United, deep down, have got the money to spend, but don't want to do it because they're worried about how they're going to make their money back. And that's the problem at Man United. You're signing big players on big contracts, giving them stupid wages, and 3 or 4 years' time, you can't get rid of them. And there is why we have the same problem over and over and over again. It is the circle of life. You might as well get that Elton John on stage, get the Lion King song on the circle of life and sing about Man United, because we have been so bloody incompetent. We should have had at least 3 players by the end of this month. We have signed Mason Mount. How can you get excited about that when the fan base is getting no support, no help, and the severe depression, mental health and anxiety that is being caused by this football club? We are being treated like shit this summer. We are being treated so badly by the club. There is no outcome of the sale. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. The Glazers are taking the piss. They don't want to sell the club, and they're running the club into the ground. And no wonder why we get so bloody fed up a way this club is run like a Mickey Mouse circus. It is literally an Orlando Resort Disneyland. We are literally at Disneyland being run by complete and utter clueless Disney characters that have got no clue how to run a club. And no wonder Arsenal have spent nearly 200 bloody million on Kai Havertz, Declan Rice and Jurgen Timber. Man City have got Kovacic. They're looking at Hakimi. They're looking at that Vega from Celta Vigo. Liverpool have signed Alexis McAllister. Chelsea have signed players. Like, Man United has sat there, well, we're going to bide our time. We're going to wait. We're not going to rush, and we're going to be so patient. We're going to be as quiet as a mouse, and we're going to keep our mouth firmly shut so our secrets and all our ideas of players we want don't get leaked to the press, don't get leaked to the media. We're going to do it in our own time, in our own pace. We are not going to be dictated to, and we're not going to bend over. Well, Man United have bent over on this Mason Mount deal. They've given Chelsea exactly what they wanted. They wanted 65 million to get that deal done, and Man United have caved in. Man United know what Chelsea's tactics are. Chelsea knew what tactics Man United had. Chelsea knew that Man United would end up giving in, bending over, and giving them 60 million for Mount. And that is exactly what they've done, ladies and gents. Man United, the typical PR bull crap club, have caved in and given in to Chelsea's demands. That is Man United in a nutshell. You might as well get dickhead written across your forehead at Man United, because that is how incompetent we are. We are a bunch of useless dickheads who can't do anything right. And no wonder every manager before's been sacked. It's never been the manager's problem. It's the people above the manager that have been the big problem since they took over this club way back in 2005. 18 years of incompetence, 18 years of constant mess. Not one penny has been invested since then. Now, I didn't even know. Not one penny's ever been invested by the Glazers when they brought this bloody football club. And look at the mess we're in. 725 million Manchester United are now in debt with. 725 fucking million this club is in debt with. The debt was over 500 million a few months ago. The debt's nearly at 800 million. Man United are now only 275 million pounds off being over $1 billion in debt. $1 billion in debt. That is down to the Glazers. That is down to their pure incompetence, spending money so badly, sacking manager after manager that have never been backed, never supported by the board. And the board are part of the problem. Richard Arnold, John Mercer have got to have a hard-on look in the mirror, because they've been part of this Mason Mount trouble. And we're going to look at the Mason Mount deal, because obviously we've got the tweets from Fabrizio Romano, we've got the tweets from David Ornstein, and we are going to go through them now. And I'm trying to actually find the tweets that Fabrizio Romano has tweeted. And a massive shout out to Fabrizio. He is my favourite journalist, as well as David Ornstein. For me, they are the GOATs in journalism. They are the GOATs in football. And for me, they are the best two around, because they actually tell you the truth. You don't see all these in-the-know accounts telling you bullshit. And I think for me, you're getting exactly what you want, the truth, no lies, and you get the dedication and the passion from David Ornstein on Twitter and Fabrizio Romano. And obviously, we're going to look at the tweet Fabrizio obviously put out for Mason Mount. So, breaking, Manchester United have agreed a 60 million package deal for Mason Mount with Chelsea. It's done. Here we go. Personal terms have been agreed weeks ago, and face-to-face talks between clubs made it clear the agreement is done. Mason Mount will become a Man United player. They never left the race, and that is what I like. There was loads of journalists saying out there, Man United were going to walk away from Mason Mount. For me, I do believe we should have done it. I do believe we should have gone anywhere near 60. We should have given Chelsea at least 35 to 40 million. They should have accepted the first bid and taken what they got. 1 year left on this contract to pay 60 million. It's just typical Man United. They like to give in eventually. But for me, if Chelsea wanted 60 million, Man United really should have gone with the first bid. Here is 60 million for Mason Mount. Take it or leave it, or we're walking away. And I think Chelsea have realised, shit, we can't get any more money for Mason Mount. We're not going to get any more than that. 1 year left on his contract. We have to take that money and run. Especially now in the plan that Man United let their interest know to Brighton that were apparently in for Moises Caicedo. Yeah, we're definitely in for him, especially when you've just bought Mason Mount from Chelsea. So clearly, that was a clear tactic for Man United to let Chelsea absolutely shit themselves. They're thinking, shit, they're going to go for Caicedo. We might have Mason Mount. He was left with 1 year on his deal, and we want Caicedo. Man United are going for him. We've got to sell Mason Mount to Man United. We can't afford to lose Caicedo to Man United as well as Mason Mount. We cannot afford to let that happen, because otherwise we are going to look really, really bloody stupid. And I think, like Man United are probably going to be sat there doing jazz hands right now saying, look who we've just signed. Look at the job John Mercer and Richard Arnold have done, walking in like a boss out of Stamford. But, oh, look, we've got Mason Mount over the line. How can I get excited when I've got you two Space Jam characters from the Disney film? You're basically Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. You're basically so bloody incompetent, and you've given in to Chelsea. You should have went there and said, no, we're walking away. You could have gone and got Caicedo, who is exactly what we need in that midfield. We need a holding CDM, centre defensive midfielder, and you've come out with a number 8 in Mason Mount, who's hardly kicked a bloody ball for Chelsea. Like, what are we doing? What is the plan? If Mason Mount fails, that ain't on the manager. That is on that board. Because they're right, we can't get you Frankie de Jong. And especially when they failed to sign Adrian Rabiot on a free bloody contract. They could have got Rabiot on a free transfer. Man United said, no, we're not giving in to his wage. No, we're not giving in to demands. No, not doing that. We're not going to give Rabiot what he wants. Well, let that backfire because we wanted 2 midfielders. And you've basically signed 1. And you've chucked 60 million. So you've not just screwed the manager over. You've screwed the fans, you've screwed the supporters, and basically the summer budget is basically half gone already on 1 player. So imagine if Mason Mount and Onana are the only 2 signings. That is going to look really stupid, isn't it? Imagine if we only sign Mason Mount and Onana and that's it. That is not enough, especially when we're looking at a striker and a centre-back. Imagine if it's Mount and Onana and that is it. If that ain't good enough for Man United, I'm sorry, that is not good enough. So we've got more tweets coming in from Fabrizio Romano. Man United never left the race. For Mason Mount, despite reports, and they never entered the race for Caicedo. I told you, Man United were never in for Caicedo from Brighton. We weren't anywhere near interested in giving Brighton 100 million. I would have loved Caicedo. It's exactly what we needed. Man United have said no. Another failure, ticking the box for the Glazers. That let another manager down. It's like you've got a marker pen. You can go buy those highlighters from your local Sainsbury's or your local Tesco's, what you need for school. And you can highlight stuff with writing. And you got your green, your yellow, and your blue highlighters. You can highlight text. Man United have basically got a tick sheet. They've got fail David Moyes, fail Van Gaal, fail Mourinho, fail Solskjaer, fail Ragnick, and we're failing Ten Hag. They're basically ticking everything off. It's like those IEP targets you used to have in school. You've got to do this in this term. You've got to do that in that term. Man United are basically ticking every box off of failing yet another manager that actually gets it, actually gets what we're about, actually cares about the fans, cares about the supporters, and actually gives a shit. But Man United, it's jobs for the boys. It's mates rates FC. They don't give a shit about anyone except the money they are making on a daily bloody basis. And another tweet from Fabrizio. Understand Mason Mount will undergo his medical with Manchester United after the weekend. Contract will be valid until June 2028. We've given him a 5-year contract with 1 year left. I mean, what are we doing? What are we bloody doing giving him a 5-year contract? For me, that's a joke. A 5-year contract. So if this signing doesn't work within 2 or 3 years, we've got Mason Mount till 2028. All I'm going to say is, God bloody help us. If we've got Mason Mount at United till 2028, I dread if this signing doesn't work, what's going to happen if we want to get rid of him? What happens if the manager and him have a bust up? What happens if Man United don't want him anymore? How the hell are we meant to bloody sell him? I don't think we will be able to sell him because Man United has spent 60 bloody million. So, yet again, clearly, Man United incompetence over and over again. So, let's see what happens with it. Let's see if this signing works out. And another tweet from Fabrizio Romano on Twitter regarding Mason Mount. Mason Mount Man United never had a race. For Mason Mount, he's always been a priority target. Face-to-face meetings was crucial to agree to 55 plus 5 million in add-ons. Bayern Munich never entered the race. It was only Man United for Mason Mount now or in 2024. Here we go. So that's also another tweet from Fabrizio. And we have got a tweet for MUFC MPB on Twitter as well, who I follow. I'm on Twitter. I'm also on TikTok. It is at United Red Devils 20. So go give me a follow on TikTok and also on Twitter. So we got a tweet now from obviously MUFC MPB. Obviously the Mount deal is done. He will undergo his medical after the weekend. Man United apparently will now turn their attentions to a goalkeeper and a striker. Those are the next two priority targets for Manchester United, because that is now the priorities after Mason Mount. The goalkeeper and the striker situations now have to be resolved. And obviously another tweet off MUFC MPB. If David De Gea leaves Man United, want him to come back and receive the send-off he deserves. And if the relationship is ending, they want to do it so on the best terms possible. So I think, we've got to back, the manager. We've given him what he wants. We've given him Mason Mount, and I'm hoping that signing works out. And another live comment, Mex Rowdy XD. So I don't think we will sign anyone at Liverpool now. Your owners are like ours. It's a joke, to be honest. They're teams like Arsenal that mean business, and then we are just being left behind yet again. Completely hit the nail on the head. Teams like Liverpool, Liverpool, Man United are being left behind, being absolutely left behind by everyone else. Massive shout out to Pato Kelagoon in the chat. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, by the way. Please subscribe. Would really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm hoping it works. And Mason Mount, the deal will be done after the weekend. Mason Mount currently is on his holiday. So Mason Mount will come back. He'll do his medical. And I don't think we'll get the official announcement to at least probably Monday, late Tuesday afternoon. I don't see that happening until then. I'm hoping Man United can get this done, because they want to get a striker, they want to get a goalkeeper, and they've got to make it happen quick, because Ten Hag is impatient. You can tell that players are desperate now to come to Man United. And I think being back in the Champions League has also helped. I think being a Champions League club again has helped Manchester United. It's helped Erik Ten Hag get the players he wants, and it's really helped get the players we need. And I'm hoping now being back in the Champions League is a big pull for for future players to come to Manchester United. And I'm hoping it works. I'm hoping this signing is going to work out for everybody connected with the football club. And we have to be happy. We have to be excited. We've actually done some business. But I'm not smiling about it. It's not a play I really wanted. But if that's what the manager wants, the manager gets what he wants. But I'm praying. I'm absolutely praying for Ten Hag's sake. I'm praying it works. I'm hoping, Mason Mount's going to hit the ground running. I'm really hoping that, he's going to be a player that is going to offer quality into that midfield. But if it doesn't work out, then Man United have basically just spent 60 million on a reject that ain't going to work in the next few years. And that, for me, is a big concern going forward, that, if we don't sign players that the manager wants this summer, I dread what's going to happen in a few years' time, because we might then be on another manager. 2 sacks. Yeah, and that's the problem. That's the big thing. And that's the big key addition for me, that, Mason Mount has to work. It has to work. I don't want to be sat here in a few years' time saying, I told you so. I don't want to be sat here in a few months' time saying, well, Mason Mount hasn't worked. He's been a complete flop. But, I think Ten Hag will get the best out from him, especially when he can play the number 8 and number 10 position. But I think next to Fernandes and Casemiro, you're probably going to get the best out of Mason Mount. You'll probably get a completely different player. And I think Chelsea have probably been that naive to let a player go like that, especially to one of their rivals, because Chelsea have looked at Man United and, well, Chelsea can't compete. You're not even in Europe this season, and Chelsea have let go so many players they're going to have to replace, but they'll probably replace Mount with Caicedo. And I think, for me, that's a big red flag there. They've gone and probably got a better player and a better deal. And I'm hoping, it works out. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that, Mason Mount is going to prove Chelsea wrong. He's going to show Chelsea what they're missing. And he's basically going to show the club to Man United that I'm here long term. I'm here to fix that midfield. But Mason Mount and that midfield's not enough. That is not enough to get me excited. It's not enough to say that, look at me, I'm the new shiny toy fixing the midfield. Mason Mount next to Fernandes and Casemiro and Eriksen is not enough. You still need at least another midfield signing. We need a CDM. I think that has to be the next target, then the goalkeeper, and then the striker. But if Man United have only got 60 million budget left from the 120 million they had, 60 million's gone amount. Next signing will probably be the goalkeeper. How the hell are we going to be signing a striker is the next big talking point. How the hell we meant to sign a striker now, knowing 60 million's gone on Mason Mount, 60 million's probably going to go on a goalkeeper. You've basically got 10 million left for a striker. I mean, it's a big, big ask from Man United if they're going to deliver. If we don't sign a striker, we are basically stuck with Martial next season and Rashford. Rashford, for me, is better off the left, not down the middle as a striker. Martial needs to be sold. He's injury prone, and I don't want him at the club anymore. He's a complete mercenary to me. But now, we've got the Mason Mount deal over there, and hopefully things are now going to start moving very, very quickly from Man United. But they are going to milk this deal like no tomorrow. They're going to be walking back to Old Trafford like a boss, John Murtaugh and Richard Arnold, saying, look who we've got. You've actually got your Mason Mount. We've got you what the manager wanted. I'm just hoping that, I hope this deal does not come back and bite us on the ass very, very hard, because if it does, Man United are going to have to spend the losses of trying to sell him in 3-4 years' time. I wouldn't have given him a 5-year contract. I think that's a joke. I think 3 or 4 years at best would have been better with Mason Mount. But if that's what Man United wanted to do, that's their transfer strategy. I can't tell them what to do. But, at least we've done a bit of business before July. We don't normally spend money until at least July the 1st. We don't really do any business till then. But to do business in June with a day left in tomorrow, July obviously got the weekend and got the F1 and stuff. Hopefully now that this is going to work, this is going to be a signing that is going to change the midfield dynamic. It's going to change the way Man United look going forward. And 5-year contract, Mason Mount is signing at United, 5-year contract he's been given by the club. And I'm hoping, 5 years stay at Man United might not last long, especially if the inconsistency and the injuries keep repeating itself. I'm hoping that doesn't happen from a fan and supporters' point of view. And I think we'll all get behind him. I think United fans and supporters are going to be ecstatic tonight. I think, at least we've got some kind of clarification on a deal. We've done it quickly. Well, they haven't. They've wasted 5 bloody weeks. I should have had Mason Mount through the door sooner to have that FA Cup final defeat to Man City. But wasted 5 weeks on a deal that you could have got done in a week. You could have given Chelsea what they want. That's what I would have done. That, for me, is what you do in business. You give the selling club the money they want and what they're looking for. Should have got the deal done then. At least they've got the deal done now. And I'm hoping, Mason Mount is going to have an impact. Please, I'm hoping they don't go and give him the number 7 shirt. I'm hoping we do not go and give Mason Mount the number 7. If we do that, this football club is going to look so bloody idiotic. If they give Mason Mount a number 7 shirt, bloody hell, what are we doing? But let's see what happens from now, because I expect everything now to all kick off with Man United in the next few days and in the next few weeks. Everything now is going to happen because I think a sale of the club will happen. I'm hoping we'll get clarification of what's happening. Will we get the Qataris? Will we get Sir Jim Ratcliffe? And will the club be sold by the Glazers, or will the Glazers be here to stay? If the Glazers are here to stay, we all see more stupid money being spent like this. 60 million on Mason Mount. That's a big chunk of hefty money to be spending on a midfielder like Mason Mount with 1 year left on the contract, with injuries and inconsistency in form. But I've got to back the manager, and that's what I always do. I fully back Erik ten Hag. I expect Ten Hag to transform him, and I'm hoping this is the midfielder to take Man United up to the next dimension. But we're going to have to see what happens with Mason Mount, and I wish him all the best. I think we all welcome him. We all welcome him to Manchester United. We welcome him to Old Trafford. I think the fans and supporters will get behind him. We'll get behind the signing, and hopefully Mason Mount will see a different type of player, a certain diversity, a certain dimension of Mason Mount's game that is going to add something, hopefully, into Man United's midfield 3. Hopefully, he will be the upgrade on Eriksen we need, but I still think Eriksen, for me, is still the first name on that team sheet, I think clinically Eriksen's better. I would not want to see Eriksen at that team for Mason Mount. I think that is really, really stupid. I would not replace Mason Mount with Eriksen. I think Eriksen is 10 times a better player, technically better on the ball, technically runs and tracks back to win the ball back, and actually puts through a decent through ball that no one else can make. And if Mason Mount doesn't do that and hit the ground running, we've made a bad signing here. So hope you enjoyed the video, and hit the like button, the share button. Please subscribe to the channel and the community if you're new. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit that retweet button, and to always remember, put that notification bell on all times as well to receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of 2023 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube for more Fortnite, Hogwarts Legacy, Kingdom Hearts 4, Gran Turismo 7, which we're going to be doing later on, Fortnite, Rocket League, EA Sports FC, FIFA 23 Career Mode of Man United, and much more brand stuff planned for the rest of this year. Mason Mount, here we go. We've officially got that deal done with Chelsea. 55 plus 5 million in add-ons, 6 million deal, 5-year contract, medical after the weekend, and hopefully we'll get the announcement either Monday afternoon or Tuesday afternoon that Mason Mount has officially signed for Man United, and will be going official reaction live to that signing, that Mason Mount is officially a brand new Manchester United player under Erik ten Hag next season. Enjoy this Thursday evening. Stay safe. Be nice. Be kind to each other. Speak to you guys soon. Thanks for watching.